Welcome everyone. I hope you are doing well. This is Kuhu Sarkar and this is the 17th part of the series Practicing PIQ. So in this video I am going to do December 2011 English solved paper through this PDF, which is very much useful, and you can check it from my Telegram channel and which I shared in my description box. So through this PDF I try to give it my own explanation and try to practice with you this PIQ so that it will help me also to note down all these important things. So let's start with our first question. Our first question is poems descriptive of rural life and scenery is written by. So it was written by John Clare. Poems descriptive of rural life and scenery. So let's know more about John Crane. He was born in 1793 and died in 1864. Was an English poet, the son of farm laborer. His poetry underwent a major revolution in the late 20th century, and he is among the most significant of 19th century English poets who wrote about the English countryside and its disruption. His above mentioned collection was published in 1820. So he was an English poet, the son of a farm laborer, and his poetry underwent major revolution of the 20th century. Then Hemingway's novel A Farewell to Arms is divided it was divided in 5 books. A Farewell to Arms is a novel by Hemingway set during the Italian Companion of World War. The book was published in 1929. The title is taken from a poem by 16th century dramatist George Peele. Okay, so let's see the next question. Panopticism is the title of the character is well known book by, so it is a well known book by Michael Foucault. So as I already made a video about Michael Foucault, you can watch it in the I create the playlist of literary theory. You can get it from there. So panopticism is the title of a chapter when he criticize our society, that how we now through the CCTV try to panopticize the people. So panopticism is a social theory named after panopticon, originally developed by French philosopher Michel Foucault in his book Discipline and Punishment. So in this video I already talked lots about this concept. So it was published in 1975. His view the panopticon as a symbolic of the disciplinary societies of surveillance. So which are the disciplinary surveillance society? These are schools, hospitals, and there is another thing, school, hospital, and prison. Sorry, the prison. Okay, so next question. The line she was a worthy woman. Sorry. The line she was a worthy woman, L. Fire life. Housebounds the church door she headed 5. So is an example of, I don't know why they give these kinds of question, so because it is not in English, right? So this is an example of heroic couplet. Is a traditional form of English poetry commonly used in epic and narrative poetry, the consisting rhyme pair of lines in iambic pentameter. So this question made me remember something, that in this now they ask the original title of the text, mean they will not ask that waiting for Godot. They will give the French title of the text so that you can understand. You should know the French title, the original title of the text also, because most of the time it was translated in English and we are habituated with the English version of the title, but they ask the original text. And these theory questions, most of the time they ask the original title. Maybe it can be French, Germany, or anything. So you should make it, you should remember this thing also. Then, who among the following women writers follow famously imagined the plight of Shakespeare's sister? So, all you know that Virginia Woolf. Virginia Woolf invented a fictional character of Judith as Shakespeare, and there she tried to say that if Shakespeare's sister is also a writer, a good writer, would she be so much famous like Shakespeare? So here she tried to write about the struggle the Shakespeare sister would may have if she was there. So in a room of one's own, she imagined the character Judith Shakespeare, and it was published in 1929. Then statement, assertion and reasoning question. Dickens novels are known as Newgate novels, and they are called so because Dickens adults in these novels the career and adventures of criminals. So this is right because Newgate's novels, both the explanation, assertion and reasoning are right. The Newgate novels or Old Bailey novels were published in England from late 1820s still till 1840s. They were thought to glamorize the lives of the criminal they portrayed, because Dickens himself was in prison because of his father. He had to stay in prison because that time there was a rule that if you cannot give the if you borrow some money to someone, the government have the power to prison you, and with your family also. So Dickens biographer wrote that he suffered so much in his childhood, and it gave him the most it gave him a depressed or frustration in when he was grown up man. So he suffered so much in prison because he have to leave his school. He was belonged to a wealthy family, but he have to leave his school because for his father's mistakes, and then he have to work as a laborer in a factory, and there also he was mistreated by these factory members. So in Oliver's Twist and other kinds of like Great Expectation, there you can see the boy suffering from various society expectation, from various kind of many of his novels. You can see that it explored the dark side of the society, the dark side of the education, the dark side of the school. So it was very much there because he himself experienced this prison life. Then, who among the following writers does not belong to the group university with the famous question? So university wit is a phrase, and Thomas Kidd, though he is also he is thought as a member of university wit, but he was not from any university, but he has the quality of in his writing. So sometimes he is also included in this in this group. And this question is mostly asked in the PhD entrance and in other university entrance, and I also face this question in my entrance of in a university. So most of the time they ask this question. University wits is a phrase used to name a group's late 16th century English playwright who were educated at the University of Oxford or Cambridge, who became popular writers among the wits Marlowe, Greene, Nash from Cambridge, Lily Lodge Pilley. So Lily Lodge Pilley, you can make it remember like that. Lily Lodge Pilley from Oxford and Marlowe, Greene, Nash from Cambridge. Kidd was not from university, although his name is also sometimes associated with the university wits, as I told you before. Then the question number 8, which of the following characters of Webster's The White Devil utters the memorable word, oft gay honor droves those tortures try, we think caged birds sing when indeed they cry. So this is the famous line from the White Devil by John Webster. The White Devil, it was written in 1612, is a revenge tragedy by John Webster. The play was successfully revived in 1630 Queen Henrietta's Men at the Cockpit Theatre, published again in 1631. So there are another many questions that odd one out, which are the revenge tragedy, and there you can see the name of White Devil. So it was theaterized in this Queen Henrietta's Men at the Cockpit Theatre, and the famous line was taken from the play. All great literature is at bottom a criticism of life. So this is famously said by Matthew Arnold. Matthew Arnold, who was born in 1822 and died in 1888, was an English poet and cultural critic who worked as an inspector of school. In 1865, Arnold published Essay in Criticism, which contains the above line that all great literature is at bottom a criticism of life. Then, who among the following is not a Jewish American novelist? And the answer will be B. Henry Green, because Henry Green was an English author and others are the Jewish American. So Henry Green was an English based member of the novels Party Going and Loving, and others are like J.D. Salinger, William Faulkner, Philip Roth. They are the Jewish American novelists. So J.D. Salinger and William Faulkner, they both have the Nobel Prize. Then, which among the following plays by Christopher Marlowe has epic feature? And the answer will be Tambourine. Tambourine the Great is a play in two parts written by Christopher Marlowe. It is loosely based on the life of Central Asian Emperor Timur Lenk. Then Sir Fopling is a character in, so it is a character in Ethergis the Mad or Man of Mood. So I had already told you in several times that restoration comedies are most important, and I will assure you that I will make videos on these plays. So the Man of Mood, because I myself got confused most of the time, these characters, these writers, publication date, who, and the chronology order. So for myself I will make this video. Okay, the Man of Maid and Sir Fopling Flutter is restoration comedy by George Ethergy, written in 1676. Despite the subtitle, the Sir Fopling is the only one of the several marginal characters. The rake dominant is the protagonist, a fop, a cheat or foolish person, rake, a licentious and immoral person. Then question number 13. Who famously said 3 or 4 families in a country village is the very thing to work on? And the answer will be Jane Austen. Jane Austen wrote this sentence while writing her novel Sense and Sensibility. I also watched this beautiful film in Netflix maybe, and it is really beautiful. So in this novel, Jane Austen collects her country families to explore family relationships, class snobbery, and tension between humanities and economic values. So there she said the quotation. She used the quotation. Okay. Pyq is a character in the novel. So it is a character in the novel Things Fall Apart. Right. So she is the daughter. No, not the daughter, maybe the character, the boy who is murdered by the protagonist. So Things Fall Apart is a post-colonial novel written by Nigerian author Chinua Achebe in 19 1958, it is seen as the archetypal modern African novel in English, one of the first to receive global critical acclaim. So it is happened to me that if I did not revise this, as you can see that I confused with the character name, because we are not habituated with this name, right? So I confused that is it the girl or is it the protagonist adopted son. So you can answer it in comment section. So most of the time it happened with me and with you also. So that's why you should revise these summaries, these text with these kinds of PYQs and other. You can watch other many people make beautiful summary video of this text, this important text, and you can get the entertainment also, and you can watch it and you can remember these characters in that way. Okay, now the next question: a food consisting of a strong syllable followed by a weak syllable and it is trochee, mean stressed, unstressed. Okay, in a poetic meter, a trochee is a metrical food consisting of stressed syllable followed by unstressed syllable, and unstressed and following with stressed is dactylic, right? So spondy is stressed, stressed, unstressed. Okay, no, unstressed, stress, iambic pentameter. Dactylic is unstressed, unstressed, stress. Then what is it the Chaucer focuses on in the depiction of wife of Bath in the Canterbury Tales, and the answer will be defiance. So the wife of Tales is among the best known Geoffrey Chaucer's tales, and I also watched it in YouTube, and this is there are many erotic scene and vulgar scene, so you can watch it and so that you can remember the whole character, because most of the time they ask their little description of their feature, like what she look like, how she look like, what dress, which kind of dress she or he wear. So you can watch it in YouTube. It will then you can remember it. Then it provides insight into the role of women in the late Middle Ages. The tale is often regarded as the first of so-called marriage group of tales, which includes the clerks, the merchant, and Franklin's tales. Okay, put the following books of Pope in a sequence, a publication. Okay, and now you have to see the chronological order. First will be an essay on criticism. An essay on criticism, it was published in 1711. Then Rape of the Lock, it was published in 1712. Dancier, it was published in 1728, and Essay on Man, it was published in 1735. So they can give this kind of chronological question also. An essay on criticism, then Rape of the Lock, Dancier, and Essay on Man. Then the next question, Dina Morris is a character in George Eliot's novel Adam Bede. Adam Bede, the first novel written by George Eliot, the pen name Mary Ann Evans. George Eliot's pen name Mary Ann Evans was published in 1859. It was published pseudonymously, and Diana Morris is the character from Adam and Bede. You can know, if you know the summary, you should know that Dania Mori, Adam Bede was very much fascinated with the character, the lady Dania Mori, and at the end of the novel, you can see that she was hanged. She was imprisoned because she murdered her or killed. She killed her own baby, and she is a woman who always want luxury, and at the end she got her fate. So this is a beautiful novel also. The Booker Prize is awarded by a panel of judges to the best novel by a citizen of, so you should know that it for the citizen of British Commonwealth. The Man Booker Prize is a literary prize awarded each year for the best original novel written in English and published in the UK, all the nations of British Commonwealth. Then Carl oh, Carter sonnet consists of, so it consists of 11 lines. So this question maybe I did for 4 or 5 times. Okay, so the Cartel sonnet is a form of invented by Gerald Manning Hopkins and used in of his poems. It is 11 line, more accurately maybe 10 line, a 10 line sonnet, but rather than the first 11 lines of a standard sonnet is consist of precisely 3 by 4 of the structure of the Petrarchan sonnet shrunk proportionally. Okay, the Unfortunate Traveler has been authored by, so it was authored by Thomas Nash. The Unfortunate Traveler or Life of Jack Wilton is a picaresque novel by Thomas Nash, first published in 1564 during the reign of Henry VIII of England. Then the next question, who among the following is not a practitioner of Jacobean tragedy? So the answer will be George Villiers. So George Villiers, second Duke of Buckingham, was an English statesman and poet. He wrote occasional verses, pamphlets, satires, and plays, and his combined works were published in 1704. So he is not a practitioner of Jacobean writings. The others are like John Webster, John Marston and Thomas Middleton are Jacobean writers. The author, Nason and narration. So the author, Nason and narration is Homike Bhabha. So Homike Bhabha, it was written in 1990 by Homike Bhabha. He is an F. Rottenberg Professor of English American Literature. He has developed a number of key concepts such as hybridity, mimicry, difference, and ambivalence. So I will definitely make a video on Homike Bhabha maybe in 1 or 2 days. I also make video on Gayatri Chakraborty Spivak and Edward Said. You can watch it from the playlist. So Nation and Narration by Homike Bhabha. So there is a text, Nation and Nationalism by Gayatri Chakraborty Spivak. So when I watch this, see this title, I thought it was by Gayatri Chakraborty Spivak, but not. It was by Homike Bhabha, Nation and Narration. Then our second last question for today. Which of the following novels has a great impact on the formal experimentation in contemporary fiction? The answer will be Lawrence Stern's Sandy. So because it is also included as an example of modernist text. So life and the opinions of Tristram Shandy or Gentleman, please note down the subtitle because they asked the subtitle also, is a humorous novel by Lawrence Stern. It was published in 9 volumes, the first 2 appearing in 1759 and 7 others following next 7 years. So they also asked that how many volumes it was published. So it was published in 9 volumes. So it was in our syllabus. So there are also many blank pages in the novel. It is fragmented. It is start in medias res. You don't know that who is what, and it is a fragmented story. So it is said that it is an example of postmodern text, right? So it was written by Lawrence Stern, and many of our syllabus this text is highly given. Then our last question for today, the phrase read this question maybe now 3 or 4 times. In my previous video also there is the same question. The phrase only connect is associated with, it was associated with em foster. Em foster was an English novelist, short story writer, etc. And Forster's humanistic impulse towards the understanding and sympathy may be aptly summed in the epigraph of 9 to his 1910 novel Howard's End, only connect. So there are in previous video there is a question that in which novel it was given the only connect, so it was given in Howard's End. So that's how they asked question, the same text, only the concepts changed. So thank you for giving your time, and if you like the video please hit the like button. Thank you.